Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of The Stand. You're here with George, Shane, and Lance. We got tons to talk about. It's going to be a good show. A lot going on in the world. Say hello, everyone.
Right.
Hello, everyone.
Very nice.
That's what he said, say.
I knew it was good. I just pitch them nice and slow, and you knock them out of the park for me. So what do you got for us, Shane?
Yeah, what are we talking about today, Shane?
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this 5th of September already, 2017.
Is it really the 5th already?
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
more months, 3 more months.
Christmas in a couple of days.
Well, yeah, it's going to close our eyes and wake up. It was like, oh man. So start exchanging
It's
gifts.
going to be 2018.
Yeah, exactly.
If the North Korea doesn't nuke us.
Yeah, right. So that's one of our topics tonight. There's
They can get Cali.
Well, if they get Cali, yeah. Well, we'll discuss more about that. Anyways, tonight we're going to be talking about DACA. Excuse me, crazy economy news, the weather, all the hurricanes and everything. We'll also be breaking down some economy news. Multiple warnings from multiple institutions, and it just keeps adding up. So, I mean, I don't know if the warnings are a possible sign of what's to come, or are they going to purposely crash it? So we'll be discussing that as well. So again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody out in Houston still. That toll keeps on increasing and rising. The sanitation sewer problems out there is just horrible. It's like one big giant cesspool. So I can only imagine.
So you're saying it's a lot like Washington, D.C.?
Right, exactly.
No, I've seen some pictures. They're still up to their
swamp.
knees in water.
Right.
I can't even imagine what it's like to come home and find your house.
But you know what is happening there? People are still demanding rent.
Oh yes, yeah. That
Really?
Yes, yeah. That was a big thing.
Wow, that takes
today.
That takes
A special type
No
of person,
hearts.
right?
that takes no heart. Oh boy.
Yeah. So people are still demanding rent out there. I mean, even though you're underwater, pretty much.
You can't live in the house.
Well, not only live. I mean, there's no source of income anymore.
No income. There's no resources.
Well,
you can't get out anywhere.
That's a funny thing, and I thought about this, and then I did hear about it on the news, and it struck me as odd. The things we all think about the person's home, their family photos, whatever. Do you realize they think that at least 1 million cars are destroyed?
Right. Absolutely.
Now, on the downside is that's everybody lost their car.
Yes.
The upside is it's a slight boost to the auto industry because now everyone's going to need to replace cars. So, I mean, I don't want to downplay the catastrophe, but there is a few nuggets in there. I mean, because insurance is going to cover a lot of it.
Right. Absolutely.
Maybe, I don't know. Flood is a tough one to cover.
Well, I mean,
only like 20% of the houses there had flood insurance. They said. Right,
and then you got the mold situation growing, highest mold problem in Houston ever. So I mean.
Well, the water's still not gone.
Well, exactly, and the mold's just going to keep increasing. Now, mold has such bad health benefits for you.
Well, I've never really subscribed to the mold as that terrible because it's something that we live in and around all the time. I mean, it's kind of like bacteria and any other germs on this planet. We're kind of built for it. But yeah, you don't want to live in a room that's filled with mold. But
right.
So Trump was down there.
Yes.
Doing some help.
Which is a good thing.
And what did the MSNBC anchors do?
Made fun of him.
Morning Joe, whatever his name is.
Morning Schmo.
Yeah, what a chump, dude, really. But anyways, you see Trump, and they're focusing on one point. Anybody can pull this up. Just type in NBC makes fun of Trump.
For helping.
Yeah, for helping. And he pretty much, he's got a bucket. It has a first aid, not first aid, but American Red Cross symbol on. It's a bucket, probably full of supplies.
It's an emergency bucket. It's a standard thing they hand out.
And so
yeah, it's probably clothes, food, and water.
Right, exactly. So you have he puts it in the driver's window, and their thinking is it's a bucket. It belongs in the back of the truck, in the bed. Well, I mean, if it has first aid and possibly food in it, Wouldn't you want to?
It doesn't matter.
You know, wouldn't you want that like on me? Oh man, I was just booting this thing. I
but
can eat it
everybody
right
was
now.
smiling. I mean, the whole thing. The point is, it had nothing to do with where he handed it. They just wanted to make fun of the guy. Now you have to understand, Obama could fly over in a helicopter and glance down, and he would be like, it'd be manna from heaven. He'd be casting his gaze upon the fortunate people of Houston, and they will all feel better for it because he's let his holy glowness all over them. Trump could shovel dirt into a sandbag and help a flooded house stay dry.
Or remember the flooding not last year when Trump was running. Trump went down there before Obama.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, but Trump was a jerk for going before the president, and the president was a fantastic person when he did finally quit golfing and go down.
That's
actually, yeah.
Did he call or did he actually
called.
He called. Well, that's all that's required. His voice emanating over the phone lines coming out of that speaker just helped all the goodness there. You know,
That's all I needed.
yeah.
I feel inspired. I wish you'd have reelected this guy.
Should have just made him king.
Ooh, even better. There you go.
But he's still in the news today.
Yeah, he's a little upset today.
Yeah, because of the
We'll get that to that
later.
transactions that transpired in the last couple hours. But anyways, now we have Hurricane Irma, right?
Alright, you're done talking about Hurricane Harvey, huh?
Well, I mean, there's not much news.
The rescues and the recovery and the rebuild is going to go on for many months.
Right.
I was going to bring up one thing.
Oh.
So, Trump tried to put in a budget into this next budget for Hurricane Harvey, which was like 9 million or billion.
Oh, that's right.
Which is what they kind of did for Sandy.
And Congress said no. They're not going to put it in this budget.
Okay.
So,
Sounds about right. The establishment, once again, being
right. The establishment.
being the establishment. Yeah.
That's right. I did read
and so
a
now
little
like
bit about that.
Irma's going to come and probably hit Florida, and
Right.
they're going to have the same thing. So are they going to do
Or
it
if
for
not
Florida?
worse, I mean, this is a bigger hurricane.
Would you say this one was coming in at?
All right, so the Category 5 is 155 miles an hour.
Plus.
No, yeah, 155
Yeah.
and up. So I guess today it reached Category 5 for Irma, and it had gusts up to 185.
Yeah, 185.
Which I guess is like the 155 to 185 would be considered. The next one, 185, would be Category 6, but they're just calling it Category 5 plus. And they said by the time it gets to Florida, it should strengthen up because it's still gaining speed and gaining momentum. It should get up to 220 miles per hour, which would make it a Category 5 plus plus.
I mean, this is beyond even the
They said it's like they can't even like they put out some scales or some graphs of their stuff that are measuring the wind out there, and when it gusts, it just maxes. Like it just maxes out.
Well, see, back in the 30s, in 1930 something, I can't remember the exact date. There was this huge hurricane that came ashore in Florida.
Hugo.
Was it Hugo?
I think it was Hugo.
What was the benchmark? This is the one that they said, this is it. They don't get any bigger than this. This one's bigger than that one.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, and truly insane. The weather that we're seeing. I mean, it's just unprecedented. I mean, two big hurricanes back to back.
First time in 100 years.
Right, East Coast. I mean, this is.
But it's not uncommon. It is hurricane season, and they come out of Africa across the Atlantic. We could get another one after this.
They already have another one building. It's called Josie.
Jose. It's called Jose.
Josie,
I don't
Jose.
know. I heard that earlier that they weren't sure. Some guys
how you pronounce it?
Well, there were two guys on the radio. They were having that same discussion. Is it Jose or Josie? And I'm like, either one. But we should be inclusive. So I now deem it as Jose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I say Josie.
You say Josie, I say Jose. You
tomato,
say I say
right.
But you know what? I'm not even going to make a terrible joke, but it'll probably be a weak, useless storm anyway.
For that one?
Yeah.
Not Irma.
Not Irma. Irma is going to be, I'm afraid. I'm actually
Irma's
afraid.
going to destroy some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so
I mean, it might be even worse than the one that hit Homestead a few.
Irma right now is actually hitting Puerto Rico.
Oh, right, yeah. This is big.
Yeah.
They said their storm surges are going to be so big that their governor declared everybody on the island to get into hurricane shelters.
Yeah, he declared a state of emergency even before the emergency.
Well, I would
3.5 million people.
185 wind gusts is crazy.
So yeah, he has 180 or 3.5 million people, and declared said everybody get into hurricane shelters. He said the hurricane is probably going to come out and take out the grid for about 4 to 6 months.
You know what's astounding about that area of the world?
All electricity.
Yeah, that I can't even imagine. But when I went to Turks and Caicos,
Just because the storm surge is so much, it's just going to flood everything.
But I was on these couple of these islands. They're really small and
They're
flat.
going to be underwater.
Yeah, they're saying that these islands could be underwater for some time.
Yes,
That's insane.
And they're saying the same thing in the Bahamas. They're going to lose a couple islands that are going to go under for a while.
That's insane. That is, and there's people that live on these islands. They should.
Right.
Can you imagine? If
You can't escape that.
You
Be
really
like,
should.
It's going to be under 20 feet of water.
Yeah. What good is a hurricane shelter? They better be up in the mountains.
High up in the hills, something, man.
But I mean, I've seen these islands. There's nothing to them. But again, if you think about it,
They're going to have to rebuild.
Everything's single story there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just
Except for a couple of resorts, they're all single story. Actually, some of the islands I was on, I think it'd be an improvement to just knock it all down and start over.
this will help.
But my point is, these islands have had this before, so this is not the first huge hurricane ever.
Well, yeah.
So these islands, they're gonna get beat up, but they'll
But to
still
go underwater though.
But they'll come back because the surge will leave.
Yeah.
But that means like Florida is next.
Florida's next.
And I was in Miami and Fort Lauderdale a couple of years ago. And
they said it's still on
it's
track
really
today.
not very high above the sea level. I mean, that's why this whole global warming thing, I never bought into it because, if it raised a couple inches in the last decade, then we'd know it. Florida already it would be devastating. So I know I know the whole raising of the sea level is not happening because the place I was at's been there since the 60s and
it hasn't.
It's still there. The water is right where it's always been. But yeah, can you imagine the storm surge?
Now tell everybody what a storm surge is.
Well, when the wind is pushing on the ocean, it actually, like if you were to blow on a bowl of soup, those little waves you get, now try to imagine that if that's several hundred miles across.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, so that pushes this wave, but it's not really a wave like we're used to seeing that strikes the beach. It's more of just a push, and it just kind of bunches up. It's almost like it's tilting the water your direction and it's raising the level.
Okay.
But that's from the swirl. Or from the winds going around, and it pushes the water, and it raises the sea level in that area because it's pushing the water faster than it can get out of the way.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why these little islands. That's like if I was there, man, get on a plane, get out.
Right. Go somewhere.
But where are they going to go?
Anywhere but there. At that
Puerto
point,
Rico.
Yeah.
At least they got shelters there. I mean, I was on a couple of those little islands. There's not much on these islands.
Wow.
I mean, they're single-story buildings.
Do you think their loss of life is going to be higher than Harvey?
Yeah, I really do. If it pans out to be the way they say it, it's going to be all those little islands. They have people on them.
Yes.
Puerto Rico,
The Virgin Islands,
St. Thomas. These are all. I mean, literally, there's. You go up 20 feet, you're at the top of some of these buildings. That's how high. The sea level's right there at their door anyway.
Right.
So.
I mean, that's just craziness.
So,
I mean, I've never been out that way. You've been out to Florida Keys? Is that sort of?
Well, I haven't been to the Keys.
Level?
I was in the Bahamas. I went on a cruise and stopped at a few of the islands, which is something. If you ever get a chance, it's the coolest thing on the planet because it's a floating resort that stops at a beach, and then it's fun. It's fun, right. And you're destined to gain 5-10 pounds of all the food. But no, these islands are they're primitive.
Right.
I mean, there's no mega high rises there. There's no huge infrastructure. Some of these places I was at, it's paved roads and 1- and 2-story buildings. They're sparsely populated. That's the upside. They could easily evacuate some of those islands in an afternoon, but they have to. I mean, if we're talking about these islands being underwater, there's no shelter that'll save you.
Right, exactly.
You're going to be underwater.
You're going to be underwater. There's going to be a lot of drowning. And the problem is, when you have an island that small and it gets hit with a storm surge, unless you know how many people there to begin with, you're not going to know who's missing.
For a couple weeks.
And until somebody says, what if entire families go? They'll just be gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
generations almost.
I mean, you need to get whatever. Some of these islands are owned by territories of other countries. They need to get down there and get those people off those islands. If it's even half as bad.
It's already too late for most of the islands.
Well, how far out is Irma?
It's on Puerto Rico tonight.
Oh, and then maybe I didn't realize it was quite that close. Some of them might be in trouble because I went to Puerto Rico, which seemed nice. I don't, you know, it was okay. But at least they got some mountains. They're a bigger island.
Right,
they have a little more elevation. But like,
3.5 million people.
it's gonna be tough.
And so the Virgin Islands, I think, is going to hit tomorrow morning or something like that.
Yes, you know, the Virgin Islands. That's a little less. I mean, it's a little smaller in stature than Puerto Rico.
But yeah, their governor came out today declaring a state of emergency and said National Guard could come and take property and all your guns today.
Why would they come and take your guns?
That's what he allowed.
Say it never fails. Government taking them. Never let an emergency go to waste.
They're going to need guns and ammo.
For who?
To hunt game or something?
No, you mean to tell me the local guardsmen need to come in and take
the National Guard.
Come in and take their weapons because they're going to need them?
Property, weapons, and ammo.
Well, we'll see how it goes. This is your government's at work. This is how they function. This is how they manage.
Yeah, no.
So in the face of disaster, doing a gun grab.
Yeah,
right.
Why not? Never let a crisis go to waste.
Well, that's insane, man. I mean, that's just craziness.
So, the Virgin Islands, that's U.S.
U.S. territory.
U.S. territory. Puerto Rico's a U.S. territory.
So all the citizens, they're all U.S. citizens there, supposedly, but have the same rights as a U.S. citizen.
I mean, they can vote.
I mean, I've been there. That's one of the nicer
I don't think
places.
they can vote.
Oh no, they can't. This is territory. You're right.
Yeah.
I thought territories could vote.
No, they can't vote.
Oh, okay. They'd have voted for Trump anyway. No, yeah, gun grab. Why not?
That's just crazy, man.
Well, that's your government at work. That's how they function. That's how they think.
Wow.
I don't know. I actually think.
I know. We'll
it's
see
the
how
same
this
thing the governor did of Louisiana for Katrina. He announced National Guard could come to your house and take your guns too, but that one got shot down immediately.
Yeah, no. I mean,
well, that's still continental United States, and there's still some decent people here that can keep the screaming liberals in check.
Yeah, no, dude. They're not going to take.
I can't remember the name of the mayor of Louisiana. What was his name? It was.
I don't know.
I can't think of his name. He was in the news a long time because he said he made a comment that after the Katrina and they were fixing it up that Louisiana was going to be it. And I hate to say it because it's the most offensive thing I've ever heard. Politicians say, and not bat an eye, it was going to be a chocolate city.
Wow, really?
Yeah, something to that effect. Some kind of we're gonna fix it. So.
All right. So it wasn't as bad as that one state senator that said so Trump's assassinated.
No, the one senator calling for that we have to check in to see how that turned out.
Right.
See, I doubt
See
nothing.
where she's at right now.
She's fine. No one's gonna bother her.
News
She's a
already
government
passed over
official.
What was it like? Where they at now? Type thing.
Yeah, where they at now? Like, where's Kathy Griffith now? Yeah. Where's that one? I can't think of her name.
Oh, man! Talking about her, I read an article saying that her true feelings are coming out, and she's not apologetic.
She's not apologetic.
Right, not apologetic for the whole beheading Trump artistic piece that she made. You know. So after all that boohoo crybaby stuff,
they broke me.
You know,
they
broke me.
And
oh,
they ruined
man.
my career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she started a tour that had, I can't remember the name of it, but it had some kind of reference to the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. So she's just she's just taking advantage of it like a typical.
Yeah.
Riding the gravy train.
Yeah, she the old saying there's
no press is bad press.
Yeah, there's no bad press. Yeah.
I mean, just craziness though.
Yeah, they're all two-faced.
I mean, where's Cher's rocket ship? You know what I'm saying? Remember she said, I'm going to go to the space or something
all
like
the
that?
celebrities that said they're going to move.
Yeah.
I would actually
go, man. Just go.
I would actually help pay for those tickets.
I would go build the damn
measly
thing.
income. I would gladly donate.
But they're all coming back. I mean, George Clooney tried it.
Yeah. Look how long he was gone. It's too dangerous over there. He had to come back. You gotta love him. Like I said, if it weren't for double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all.
Right, exactly, man. This guy, oh man, we got to get out of the U.S. You know, and we're coming back.
He was gone for like 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah, I think a little bit longer than that. But
tried.
still, I mean, that's just craziness.
Well, I mean, he promoted the refugee influx. He said it would be a good thing.
Right,
And then when
exactly.
it got a little heated, It got a little dangerous. He jumped ship.
He's like,
Couldn't handle the heat.
Not what I wanted.
Yeah, he couldn't handle the heat.
Because he, unlike most of the citizens of Italy, could afford to move to another country where it was safer.
Yeah, and everybody else is stuck, you know.
I mean, trust me, Beverly Hills is probably one of the safest places on the planet.
Right, absolutely. I mean, you imagine the security at every house.
Yeah, I've been in those houses. Yeah, I can imagine the security.
There you go, you know. Well, I mean, that's perfect because a couple weeks, I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about the march starting from Charlottesville.
Yeah.
So just a little update on.
Yeah, this is a great update.
So just a little update on the whole march thing. You know, what was it? The March Against White Supremacy.
It's a march.
Yeah, from Charlottesville, North Carolina, right?
To D.C.
To Washington D.C. What was it? They started.
They started with 200 people in the march.
Yesterday or day before?
Day before yesterday.
Yeah, day before yesterday, 200 people. As of what, yesterday?
This morning?
I think this morning, it's pretty much down to like 30 people or something like that.
35 people, and they don't expect them to last.
Right.
Because it rained and they all went home. That's dedication. Man. That's real dedication.
Oh yeah, right? We're going to march from our house, you know?
Yeah.
So
I told you if it was.
Did they even get out of Charlottesville?
How far can you march in a day? Okay, 3 miles an hour is the average march.
Right.
Okay.
Get through the city.
You march 8-10 hours. You just get out of town where it's uncomfortable.
Right. You're like, oh man, nothing's out
You're
here.
out in the woods and with the bugs and the critters.
And hopefully you supplied your stuff.
Probably not.
I'm sure. With 200 people, I guarantee you they had very few support vehicles with them.
I'm pretty sure they had a whole bunch of chips. Salsa,
Gatorade.
Not even Gatorade.
Oh, yeah, probably
some sodas.
Yeah, man, I gotta have my Dr.
Hey,
Pepper.
I brought my kit. I've got some Diet Coke. I've got 3 stickers.
Beef jerky. I think
that's Cheetos.
Cheetos, Snickers bar. Oh, toilet paper. I forgot to bring toilet paper. Well, there'll be someplace on the way.
Or I just wipe somewhere, you know.
But the problem is, they didn't even need those snacks. They didn't even miss a meal.
If you think about it, they really didn't go around outside the city. Oh man, Burger King's calling my name or something, you know.
That's like if you started downtown Las Vegas and you were marching downtown, you might have made it to Henderson and quit.
Exactly. Or maybe old Henderson or something like that.
Henderson proper, maybe.
Yeah.
Because again, 3 miles an hour. If you marched for 10 hours, and you know, if you've been in the military, you know what it's like to march for 10, 15 miles. It's not pleasant.
100-pound ruck on your back, you know.
I mean, even though you're walking along, you got your fanny pack, you're talking to some hippie girls. It can be entertaining, but it's still
you're walking.
It's still humid in summertime in the South.
Right. You gotta break camp at the end of it.
Oh no! Those guys don't know how to strike camp and pitch tents. No. I guarantee you, they got at the end of the day and went, now what?
Stargazing.
We're just going to sleep out in the elements.
Unless they had support vehicles, which I doubt, because it doesn't sound like they were that organized.
No.
It means you got to carry your gear.
Right.
We know that means a sleeping bag. That means food and water, minimum.
Hopefully a sleeping mat. You know, for those who've been in the military, sleeping mat, lifesaver. You know.
Oh, it's worth its weight in gold.
And the whoopee.
Yeah. So you know they didn't come that prepared. Now, in contrast, if it was 200 vets marching someplace,
oh, dude,
they'd already be halfway there.
Yeah.
They'd still be marching.
They'd still be marching and singing songs.
Right, cadence and everything, you know.
Which I'd like to do again. I miss cadence.
I do. I know. I sing it once in a while in the house.
Oh, you gotta have your running cadence when you're working out.
Yeah.
All right.
It's better than 2 cans of Monster. Anyway, we digress, but we couldn't help but laugh at the march to DC, which was actually the march to the outskirts of Charlottesville.
Right. a wilderness hike.
They did try. We'll give them credit for trying. I mean, it's quite an undertaking to get up and walk.
That's almost like a participation trophy. You know,
I
think they deserve the trophy. You know, participation.
Well, they all got their participation trophies.
Yeah.
But wait, there was nobody handing them out. That's why they left.
Oh, right.
But I do give them effort for trying.
Yeah.
You know.
But now they know for next time.
Yeah. Now they're a little bit better prepared. And where was Antifa? Notice they didn't do that. That sounds like real work. There's no fun in marching.
We're not, you know, if it's not, you know, trying to pull a knife on a Trump supporter or breaking stuff or whatever. I mean, it's just not fun.
They've been declared.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that official?
Domestic terrorists.
It is official.
That they've been declared a domestic terrorist organization.
Well, because both sides are now real. Well, I mean, the left is now realizing these guys have been spun up way too much, and with it's bad PR for us.
Violent.
Well, it's bad PR for them.
Well, they created a mob. They can't control
exactly.
But then you had some Republicans coming to protect them as well.
Yeah,
well,
they should
because
get
obviously,
right away.
Well,
one of them was Marco Rubio.
He came out for Antifa.
He was protecting them, saying it was the whole Charlottesville thing.
See, that Charlottesville thing was a real media victory for the left.
It was.
They just played it perfectly. They got everybody genuflexing and worried about optics and what that appears. I mean, come on. It was a bunch of thugs bumped heads with a bunch of other thugs.
That's all it was. It was like a turf war.
They're no one there. I don't need my politicians worried about their feelings.
Everybody defended the Antifa group over the white supremacists.
Well, that was until they went to Berkeley the next week and clashed with some real peaceful demonstrators.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
That kind of turned it for him. I think even Pelosi came out and said, well,
Antifa.
Pelosi came out, Feinstein came out, condemning him because it's bad PR for him now. They can't win on the Antifa ticket no more.
But George Soros is still paying them.
Well, of course.
No, apparently he's not.
Oh yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Some of them were demanding their money.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. So they are coming out against him because, like I just said, it's bad PR and they can't control him no more. So it's just a matter of time before they start to fizzle out. Hopefully, but I think secretly, I think they still support him. Behind everybody's back. So it's the old magic hat trick. It's like, hey, look over here, and there's in the back. So speaking of George Soros, I posted up the other day a petition on the site. For those who haven't checked it out, you can check that out. Pretty much, let me just bring it up. So it's to declare George Soros a terrorist and seize all of his related organizations' assets under the RICO and NDAA law. So
there's like 100,000 on this already or something.
Right. So the minimum for every petition is 100,000 signatures. The more signatures it gets, obviously, it gets more attention. I think up to 133,000.
It's at 144.
140. So
yeah, but nothing's going to come of it.
Right.
They're not going to. He's a multi-billionaire. They're not going to seize his assets unless they thought they could actually get them all and then turn it in.
Well,
you know what I would do?
They froze all of Maduro's assets here.
Well, they don't like Maduro.
Right.
He's just another power player too.
Yeah. But if I could seize all of Soros' assets, let's say I was the president, you know where I would direct all those funds to, and I would get no grief from anybody. I'd use that money to build the wall.
Oh, there you go.
You get grief from all the people that didn't want the wall.
You're going to get grief from them anyway. I'm not saying you wouldn't get any extra grief.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what he does.
In the end, George Soros would pay for the wall?
In the end, George Soros could pay for the wall.
That would be awesome, man.
I think even Mexico could get behind that.
Right. But George Soros paying for it? We're not paying for it no more?
Hey, we'll even have George Soros pay for a wall at the southern border
Put his
of
name
Mexico.
on it. Dedicated and wish to thank George
We'll be
Soros.
like Mexico. Both walls. Wall in your country.
Yeah.
Block the south. We'll pay.
Well, no, they already have a spectacular southern wall.
Yeah, their rules down for
South
illegal
Dakota,
immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get caught sneaking into Mexico, it's 5 years.
Oh, you're done, man.
It's 5 years. Now, I don't care how
disappear.
cool America looks to you from Central America. 5 years in a Mexican prison?
No bueno,
I would
man.
rather swim the coast.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather build a raft and try to make it through the hurricane.
I'd go south and
Yeah,
Brazil?
there's no way.
Venezuela. Ugh.
Still, it's got to be better than Mexico's prisons.
Yeah, no, there's no way I want to end up there. Man.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Between the cartels and the Mexican prisons, it's bad
Hard
stuff.
life.
Bad stuff down there.
I just have to join the cartel. At least there's girls and dope.
They make you build one tunnel and then kill you.
Yeah. Well, if you were a prisoner, no, I'd join. I'd try to become a member.
Right.
I'd just walk and say, "What do you want me to?" I'd kill. Just like that or Mexican prison. That's not a choice.
No, yeah, really.
But then they gotta get like devil tattoos and MS.
No, it's just underneath the collar. You can't cover this up.
They start covering that.
It's a moneymaker, man.
It's a moneymaker, exactly.
But anyways, I encourage everybody to continue signing the petition, even though it has reached 100,000 signatures. Like I said, the more signatures it has, hopefully it puts up a bunch of green lights for Washington, so they can actually,
it just gives it more.
Hopefully,
it just gives it more weight if more people sign it.
Right, exactly. So it's still on the site. I'll post. I want to try to say it'll be at the top of the page for a little bit longer. And you'll take it down maybe next week. Hopefully this gain momentum and actually send this true Nazi to jail.
So next thing is Trump. So while all these natural disasters are happening,
right,
he's passing stuff under the radar, such as he cut 90% of the Obamacare marketing expenses, which was $100 million, so he cut it down to 10.
Right.
He tried to shove out the ending of DACA on Sunday night.
Yeah, so sort of go into that because that is one of our main topics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
do you think that's what he's doing is all right, or?
Well, you got to understand, this is the thing they warned everybody about years ago when Obama started all the executive orders. Since Congress wouldn't pass a law about this, about the DREAM Act, Obama said, well, I'll just use my pen, and he wrote an executive order. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is the very next president rolls in, does another executive order, and wipes it out. So if Congress had got off its lazy rear end and did anything,
anything,
this would have been taken care of. And what
it's almost like an SNL skit.
It really
just
is.
do anything. I think that was a Jeopardy one. Just draw anything or something like that.
What Trump did, and it's not getting a lot of news, and it's really, I think it's a great idea on his part, but they rescinded DACA.
Right.
Sessions came out and said this, basically he said it's gone. It's redacted. It's gone.
But they're like 800,000 people are like.
Yeah, but here's what Trump said. He goes, take 6 months and figure something out. Again, he said, Congress, do it.
Closing it, fix it.
Yes. So what he's done, he's done to them the same thing that they had the chance to do before. If they don't fix it,
it's gone.
Well, he'll write another executive order for whatever.
Right.
He's basically said, I'm putting this back in the hands of Congress. Congress, this is your job.
Yeah.
Do your job. If you don't, I'm giving you 6 months. It's either going to die.
They can't even agree to put money into Hurricane Harvey relief.
That's true, man.
That's because they're too busy trying to see who can wind up on the top of the pile, whose party's going to look the best. If they would just quit trying to look the best and do their job, they would look the best.
Well, exactly. If they actually really helped the American people, that's all they need to do. You know what I'm saying? To just think about the American people, put all your BS aside, and you would actually, Congress would actually be the victor. You imagine how how many points their rating that
they're like at 18%.
No, their approval rate sunk to 8.
Oh.
8.
Well, imagine the approval rating if they were to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to help the people in Harvey and put that in the budget."
But the problem is they don't help the people in Harvey.
They don't care.
In Houston, they put in this, and this is going to be the problem. They come up with this big package of aid.
Right.
But then they start shoving all this pork in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when the Dems are like, "Well, I'm going to need a bridge in North Carolina," and then the Republicans say, "Well, I'm going to need a new leasing for oil wells and this area."
This.
And then, but then both sides go, "Well, I don't want you to have that." And the other side, well, I don't want you to have that, and then they don't agree on this package, and it never happens. If it was just aid for Texas and nothing else, they could do it and they'd look good. But they can't. They're so partisan and such establishment hacks. They do not give a hoot about this country.
Both sides.
Both sides.
I mean, a simple piece of paper, but then the piece of paper turns into this by the time they're done.
Yeah, by the time they start with an idea of let's send some aid to Houston. For the hurricane, and it turns into a stack of paper the size of Obamacare.
Right.
Just say, let's send X amount of dollars to the local governments to fix their state.
I mean,
But then you have to have some oversight, because then the people in the local municipalities will go, look, we got $100 million to help relieve our citizens, and they buy new police cars.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They put in a new substation, and that's it. or they build look at the county and city buildings down here.
Yeah, I know.
A county and a state government building should look like a prison. It should be a plain white square building with some windows.
You don't want the 100,000 deco around it.
I don't need a copper facade. I don't need it to be
melting
with
wall.
Yeah, I don't need it to be aligned with any thing. Just
super architectural.
I want it to look like the Ministry of Truth, but actually be a government building. I want that plain white government.
That's all it needs to be.
Yeah, it's. I don't want city government to be too lavish.
Right.
You're in city government. Just govern. You don't need to be. You don't need ping pong tables and shuffleboards on every floor to relieve you of your stress.
Stone floors or marble at some places. When I go for my benefits, VA stuff, it's just like I go into the city buildings. I'm like, man.
Yeah, they put Steve Wynn to shame.
They really. It's a comparison to a five-star resort.
No, it should be a concrete building with hardwood floors. It's as basic as it can get but they can't do it because.
But they want it huge.
It could even be huge. It just cannot be luxurious.
Right. I mean, you don't have to compete with the casinos out here, man.
Granted, I understand places like Vegas we have something to live up to, but you know what? You're there to govern. You're not there to have a party.
Right.
You can party. You're going to party anyway, but you're going to party in a gray building.
Well, I mean, and that's the problem. They, $10 for a hammer. We all heard this before. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Well, back in the day when they had the $600 toilet seats and the $9,000 hammers, you realize what that was all about.
Yeah. They
were just funneling money to the stealth program.
Right.
And the space program in Star Wars, which was all a big thing to just put money where it was. They were doing that so the Soviets couldn't figure out what we were spending money on.
Right. Star Wars is actually a real thing, by the way, not just a movie.
Well, it was bait and switch. Yeah. There wasn't really any Star Wars. I mean, they did some projects, but it was basically, I believe, it was just money funneled into stealth technology.
Well, stealth, space technology, like you said.
Stealth and space. Because that stuff doesn't. I'm pretty sure that stuff wasn't cheap. And that's how we beat the Soviets. We just outspent them. And you can only outspend your enemies if you got a good economy.
Exactly. And so, I don't know.
Like capitalists, we killed them with money.
Take that. Stab with dollar bills. But anyways.
Basically, Reagan just outspent them.
Right. Speaking of money and stuff, what do you guys think about the tax reform buzz that's been going around?
They got to get through other things first. I don't think it's going to happen for a while.
I don't think so either. But they keep preaching, oh, we have to do it, we have to do it.
Until they pass something, the Congress doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need tax reform because the corporations that have been...
Is Congress going to do it, though?
I don't think they'll... I don't think they're going to do it because, again, if Trump come out and he said, listen, I'm going to give free money to everybody, they'd still balk because it was Trump.
Right.
Congress, when it gets right down to it, they are a bunch of professional suits only looking out for themselves. They're not going to help this president.
And the people that pay them.
And the people that pay them. They're not going to do anything to help this president. I think he knows that. I think he's figured that out.
And he's not working with either side. He's like...
he just says, here, like you said with the DACA thing, here you go. I'm giving you 6 months. Basically, he's very silently threatening them with, here's 6 months to fix this problem, or I'm going to do it.
Yeah, right.
That's what he didn't say it, but he's like, but then I'm going to do it.
Right.
And I guarantee you 6 months to the day, he will sign something.
What about the healthcare reform? Never happened.
That is really disappointing. I mean, the Republicans spent 7 years preaching that they were going to... They even passed several bills that they knew couldn't get...
So get rid of Mitch McConnell, get rid of this Paul Ryan.
I think the biggest obstacles to the Republican Party is the Republican Party.
Exactly.
I mean, the Democrats, they scream and pull their hair.
Get rid of McCain.
McCain, please, vey, can he go away?
He was in Italy preaching about globalism to them, saying that America is still going to follow the globalism path this week.
Right, yeah.
He was out giving speeches in other countries.
I don't get how he is from Arizona. Arizona is one of the most free-thinking states.
Most conservative.
Yeah. It's very conservative.
It's just because Trump knocked him.
He is so mad that Trump insulted him.
And then won it.
Yeah. I mean, when he said McCain wasn't a real hero because he got captured. I mean, in a very strict sense, he's kind of got a point. Just because you were a prisoner doesn't make you a hero.
Right.
pulling babies out of a burning building, that makes you a hero.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
granted, McCain, he suffered, and he should be given all the respect he deserves, because he did crash behind enemy lines. He was taken prisoner. He spent 5 years being tortured. Yes, I get it. That makes him a man of great fortitude. I couldn't do 5 days in this room without food or water, But he does deserve some respect. Does it make him a hero? I don't know. It makes him a guy with great intestinal fortitude and who managed, and it makes him somebody we should respect because he served and he paid a very high price. And yes, I do respect the man, and he deserves some honor. War hero. I mean,
well, he even had he had a tumor in his brain,
which explains a lot.
Yeah,
and that they said that was the reason why he was saying a whole bunch of weird things.
Yeah, well,
so how can you follow that guy?
Well, that's just it. There has to be. They want to say about Trump that he needs to take a mental evaluation. I think all Senate and all Congress needs to take a mental evaluation.
You have to be psychologically tested to become a firefighter or a policeman, but you can be a complete lunatic and become a politician.
Right, exactly.
I.e., Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
You got
Maxine Waters.
She just had her IT guy indicted.
That's a whole. We might have to do a whole show on that one because that is so complicated.
It is. And then he's tied to 30-something other Democratic politicians.
He's really depressed. Probably.
I
guess I'd be willing to bet he's very depressed, and he
takes hard drives and destroys them.
He
does IT stuff.
You know why he destroyed those hard drives? Because he was looking at one and he saw his own suicide note.
Probably. He's a cleaner. He's a cleaner.
Yeah, probably. So it is very complicated. I mean. But my point is, I don't know where McCain came from. I don't know why he's like this. He seemed fairly conservative in years past.
When he first started, right?
Yeah, but he's just, they're all pissed at Trump. When it gets right down to it, they're just all mad at him because he came in and they're like, oh, this.
And he's not either party.
Yeah, he showed and said, I can do a better job than all of you. And they've all just basically collectively flipped him the bird.
Yeah.
And then he said, but I won, and now they
that speech when he said that, he's like, people want to be mad at me and all this, but I won. I'm the president. Get over it.
But that's what I want. See, I heard something, and then I mentioned it earlier to you guys. The reason the media can't understand Trump, and the reason his supporters do, is because, and I'm going to try to get this right, because the media don't take him serious. They take him literally.
Right.
And his supporters don't take him literally. They take him serious. So when he comes out and says, oh, I'm going to do this, he says something outrageous.
He's going to do it.
We watch and go, okay, I know what he says kind of outrageous, but I know what he meant. And he's serious about it. When he comes out and says something a little outlandish, the media focus on the outlandish part and forget what he said. Yeah.
And then you had that thing with Obama on Sunday who went to D.C. or Monday.
Yeah.
Monday or Sunday, went to D.C. and wrote him that letter.
Yes, and Trump said he wasn't going to release the letter because it was between him and the former president.
Obama.
Yeah, so what had happened? Obama released it. Yeah. He wanted that out there.
Right.
He didn't write that letter for Trump. He wrote it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And Trump just said, nice letter. Okay, file that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to release that to the public. That's private correspondence between me and a former president.
Yes.
And the former president just said, no, I wrote that so that you would tell the world what I thought.
Yeah.
And so he had to get out and say it anyway.
Well, I mean, he came out today about the whole DACA thing, too.
Well, he threatened Trump yesterday.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He threatened Trump. He's like, I'm going to come out and make a speech if you end DACA.
It's out front of the saloon at high noon.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, that's his whole thing, that was
Obama's going to descend from the heavens and come down, and he's going to shower us with his wisdom.
He's part of the globalism. He's a globalism tool.
Oh yeah.
He's part of the deep state. So
he is the deep state. He's the head of it.
Not the head of it. I wouldn't say he's head of it. He's a major politician.
Yeah,
he's the head of it. He's head of the United States division of deep state globalism.
Right.
I say what he wouldn't be head of it. There's someone other here.
He's the figurehead.
He's the figurehead, but someone's pulling his strings here.
I really miss the day when former presidents. I really miss the day when former presidents left the White House, and for 2-3 years we never heard from them.
In the
that's
last
what needs
year,
to happen, man.
in the last year and a half, he's bought like $30 million worth of real estate.
How's that possible? He had a job that only made $400,000 a year.
Well, you know, you got your side deals and everything else.
But again, back to Congress. They are not subject to insider trading rules.
Mm-hmm.
They are not. They have inside information on land
So it's
deals.
just give them all the money. So
That's all it's after. They're not there for us. They're there for them.
Right.
If
so,
they were there for
Obama
us,
took that 8 years of 400,000,
yeah.
turned it in over to 30 million plus.
You know what? I want to know who his investor guy is.
Yeah,
It's
financial-
called insider trading.
I want to know
Talk
who's.
to Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, I'd like I'll give you $100. You just turn it into a
$1
couple
million.
mil, and we'll call it even.
I mean, maybe that was Trump's endgame. Like, oh, can we do insider trading now?
Oh, come on.
You know what? Think about it. Does he really need to? I mean,
He's a
the
$5
guy took
billionaire.
it. Yes, but the guy took a pay and cut literally to
Well,
be
not-
president.
He didn't even
Yeah.
take a pay.
No, but I'm
He
saying-
just donates it.
He doesn't even get to fly around on his own jet, which, by the way, is much better than Air Force One.
Well, yeah.
My point is,
and then he even had Boeing and another company duel for like bidding. Boeing started out at like, we'll do 20 million for your jet,
yeah, I remember they
and then the other companies will do 8.
no, what it was is it started out that the jet was going to cost $1 billion.
Right.
And by the time they were done, it was down
like
to
7 million.
seven. Yeah, they just like because they had to bid for it.
Yeah,
There had to
bid
be
for Air Force One.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's called competition. That's called capitalism. That's what makes the world go around, or at least this world. You know, and if I don't know, it's really hard to keep up with the madness back there. I mean, I don't know how real journalists could do it. I guess that's why all they focus on is Melania's high heel shoes.
And
Because that's easier.
And her Italian dress.
Did you see the actual quote-unquote reporter who did that
Oh,
article?
no, I saw this. I thought it was a joke.
I thought so too, but no, it's real.
You gotta look her up, folks. I'm not gonna say anything about her. You got to go look up the reporter who wrote
Dude,
it.
she had the lipstick on, looked like little Hitler mustache for lipstick. I'm telling you, man, some little hoblet, comes out from the
I don't
cave.
know.
What is a hoblet?
I don't know. That thing.
It's
A little goblet.
No, you know what a hoblet is? A hoblet is a hobbit who's transgender in Middle Earth.
Right, yeah, there you go. Hoblet.
A hoblet.
Hoblet?
But no, you gotta go look. We cannot describe it. You have to go look this photo up. She is the kookiest looking thing. But there's something to be said about that. I mean, only in like Hollywood and Manhattan.
You can get away with that crap,
No,
man.
no.
I mean,
They supplement talent for style.
Craziness and yeah.
Right.
Think about it. If you were going to be if you were going to be
crazy
like some
looking.
let's say you're a half-assed painter.
Okay.
You could paint landscapes that were okay, but yet you were the craziest biker-looking freak on the planet. They would accept you.
So if I
You'd be
dress
a
like
painter.
Mad Max and paint some stuff,
You could be famous. That's all it takes.
I would be accepted.
You'd be the
Yeah,
Mad
but
Max painter.
all you got to do is just go. You have to have a quirk.
But like
Yeah.
the thing was, he would like to do it with honey or something.
Probably.
Honey sculptor.
Honey.
Oh,
sculpture.
honey sculptor.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I freeze it.
You have to freeze it, then you
And then you gotta have like a little like
And you got like a-
honeycomb on your head. And
yeah,
stuff.
like a hat from Devo or something.
Oh, there you go.
The thing is that they substitute talent for style.
Right. So the more outrageous you are,
The more outrageous you are,
And
the
then you can
less.
even go paint that stuff.
go
Yeah, but
there you
but
go.
out there, the more outrageous you are, the less talent you have. To
I mean,
have.
but
And
she
the
had
only
like
color he
Hitler
paints
lips.
yellow.
It was like
It was
like
Hitler
a
lips.
kabuki Japanese thing.
Yeah, it really
and then
sounds
a
like
bow
right here.
cut, and then it was.
Well, it's like the geishas. They only
Yeah.
do
No,
right here.
man, no. It looked like Hitler mustache on her lips, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a geisha. It's a
geisha
little,
things
it's a,
only do right
They
here.
just do it right there. It's a very weird thing, and she got
Hitler
little
lips.
dots on her cheeks.
She looks like a Nazi more than anybody else.
She
With her
doesn't
little
even look
Hitler
like she
lips.
belongs on this planet. She is alien life form.
Oh, there you go. Maybe she identifies as it.
Has anybody now? Men in Black. We're absolutely seeing somebody from Men in Black.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There's an alien inside that badly constructed automaton. That's just my guess.
No,
Because
absolutely.
you gotta go look her up. It's the freakiest thing I've ever seen.
Do you know her name? What
I
she
cannot
said?
think of her name. You guys talk. I'll look her up.
All right. But anyways, I mean, Hitler lips. That's why this should name her Hitler
It's
lips.
geisha lips.
Whatever, man. The thing, at least the geishas put the red on it, right?
They put red just right here.
Yeah, right.
And then these are white.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But hers is black. It looks like a mustache on her lips.
No, it's red.
No, it was black.
It's red. Well, it could be different colors. That's not one that was red.
On her picture though, Hitler lips. I'm telling you, man. But anyways, we'll start. While George is looking that up, we'll start talking about the economy warnings, which has been for the last, I want to say 2-3 weeks. It's just been a steady stream of warnings.
Well, it's all the bankers freaking out that they're going to run out of money.
Right, exactly. So I got this article that I was going to mention a couple weeks ago, but this is from the 24th, and the headline just states from Bloomberg: Wall Street banks are sending warning signals. 5 big ideas that were made the week interesting, and the stories behind them. Pretty much it goes into we could be close to a downturn. The climate change could possibly affect all this stuff. But the biggest thing here is that what we've been saying, the soft numbers on what we've been seeing, the Wall Street and the S&P 500 all shooting up, but the real numbers, we talked about this a lot on the show, are actually descending and actually are possibly going to go down even more if the interest rates start to go up, caused by the Fed. So so George really found the picture.
I gotta see if I can enlarge it and show the audience. This is just
Linda Yeager. There you go.
Linda Yeager.
So, anyways,
yeah, it's a Men in Black chick.
I'm telling you, man, Hitler lips. Look at those things.
They're triangles.
Yeah, this is going to be a terrible picture, but it gives you some place to go. This is the person who criticized somebody else's fashion.
Right.
Can you see it?
I'm pretty sure you can.
It's horrifying. If this is not a Men in Black episode, I've never seen one.
I'm telling you, man, Hitler lips.
But what really kills me is the hair and the rosy.
Oh, the bowl cut right here.
The bowl cut and then
around.
And then the red rouge under the eyelids, not quite on the cheeks.
Why does she have pure black eyes?
It's just a bad photo.
No, man, I'm telling you.
She could be wearing contacts. Oh, she is doing the geisha thing. Look at her outfit.
Yeah, it's geisha.
Okay, if you're a ginger in your 80s, you really can't pull off the geisha thing. Trust me, I'm a redhead. You have to know your limitations, and that is beyond your limitations.
So her name about the top.
Her name was Lynn Yeager.
Ooh.
She wrote the article criticizing the first lady Melania Trump for wearing high heel shoes on her way to the area ravaged by Hurricane Harvey. Again, she was on the tarmac on her way to the plane to take her to Houston. She wasn't actually stomping around in Houston in high heels.
Right.
She waited to get there.
They got another picture of Melania down there again.
In some nice sneakers.
And I guess she was in like an Italian designer stuff.
She's a model.
But they're like she was wearing a $2,000 Italian dress. You can't do that down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's her name?
No, you can't be dressing like a woman.
But Michelle Obama wore $250 sneakers to a disaster zone. $650?
$650, and she was passing out food at the food bank.
She should have passed out those shoes and made somebody could sell them and make their mortgage.
No, that was a advertisement.
Right.
Get those shoes.
Oh, that's how you afford those $30 million homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's all very complicated.
So, anyways, back to the economy. So, the article came out today. Bank of America is now stating, we had warnings from Greenspan. We had warnings from...
Bank of America had warnings months ago.
Right, exactly. And so, now they're saying that the bubbles are becoming more bubbly thanks to central banks. So, which means even now the bubbles are so big that they're creating bubbles within bubbles, so...
I don't know what that means.
All right, so say like the housing market bubble, right?
Okay.
Housing market. So now they're so big now that they're creating like babies around them, like little baby bubbles.
Still don't know what that means. What are you trying to say? What are these other bubbles? Are they industry?
It's pretty much like
retail,
something so big it reaches capacity. So now it's spilling into another bubble. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same stuff. It just reaches capacity, so now it's making another one.
So, I mean, if that bubble bursts, what other bubbles burst with it? What are they involved? Are they involved the auto industry?
Bubble.
The world bubble?
Oh,
World bubble.
I see. Well, I mean, it will have a cascade like it did in 08.
right.
It'll be worse than that.
It's going to be way worse. That's the point I'm trying to make, George.
I strongly suggest everybody buy precious metal.
Yes, and that's why I was going to get.
But
Lead and silver are my two choices.
Yes.
I don't have enough of either, or any of either, actually. But
Right.
You don't have any of either?
no, I don't have any of either. No,
But-
I actually would look into silver. I think it's a good investment for for the average guy. You can afford a couple ounces a week, maybe.
I own a couple ounces.
You don't
So,
have any metal?
No.
so I recommend if you are going to purchase silver that you that you actually have it. Where you can pick it up, where you get to
Don't have it on paper. Have it in real life.
Exactly. All these
I mean, I've done
IRAs and
I've
everything
done a
else
little
like
research.
that.
I mean,
Right.
I'm not in a position to invest, but what little research I've done is they always say have it physical form.
Well, exactly. I mean, what are you going to say? Oh, I'm going down to.
I got 200 pounds of gold on this paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
you,
no,
might,
you don't.
you might as well just,
Oh,
you might as well just collect stamps.
right. Or coins or something like that. But
Well,
anyways,
these coins are physical, but I'm saying stamps. I
Coins
mean,
are
you just
physical,
yeah,
piece of paper with a
the number on it.
right. So I mean,
And a barcode.
right. So the best way
I got
to
some black lines that say I
Uh,
don't know.
the best way to bet against the markets and everything else like that is to actually have silver, or if you can afford
Or
it, gold,
Bitcoin.
or Bitcoin that can crash too. Just saying, all those cryptocurrencies, which is like so many you can't even name them all.
And they just keep making more every day.
Right, exactly. So I mean, you just gotta find
Paris
the one that's
Hilton's
gonna
going
hit.
to open up a
Oh God.
cryptocurrency.
she tried to do a DJ thing. Now she's into cryptocurrency. But anyways,
Whatever makes money.
I guess right to find the thing that sticks. But anyways, so the warnings are real, folks. Now my question is, are they sending the warning signals saying that they're going to try to collapse the economy because multiple articles that I read saying that because Trump's in, they're going to try anything in their power to try to make him look bad and pretty much pin this whole economy thing on him, or is it something that is just a natural type thing where this is bound to happen?
People get greedy.
Right.
Well, I've always said that the Fed kept the Obama economy propped up with low interest rates,
Yes.
and as soon as he left office, and if a Republican took over, because as soon as the Republican did take over, or somebody not a
raised it.
Democrat, they started talking about
did
how we're
3
going to have to
rate
raise it.
raises.
Yeah, we're going to start raising it.
Right.
That's so that they could damage the economy under his administration to make him look like. Because the average person doesn't follow it close enough to know that they did this on purpose.
Well, you
and
got to
anyway.
follow what Janet Yellen does.
Yeah, but nobody does. I mean, besides the three
Like,
of us.
do you know what she just did last week?
No, see, and I watch this stuff
She
and I
was
don't
in
even know.
Jackson Hole. They were making deals
Yeah.
Yeah, see, but your average
with the
citizen,
federal bankers.
right? But my point is, the average person when the
Is not gonna
poop
know
hits the
anything about that.
oscillating turbine, the average person is just going to see Trump in office. They're not going to see the Fed. They're not going to see Janet Yellen. They're not going to see big
The
bankers.
meetings and Wyoming.
Yeah, they don't pay. They're too busy working for a living.
Well,
They're just
exactly.
going to see Trump, and that's the whole point. Between the media and the Fed and the establishment. It's just all establishment. They're trying to make this maverick look bad.
Right.
Because if he succeeds, then they have failed.
Right.
If he succeeds, then politicians as a profession are null and void.
Yes.
He could easily, if he succeeds, he can bring back citizen politicians back to the
That would be amazing. Maybe term limits then can actually get passed.
One thing I do want to talk about is Kid Rock lately and what happened.
Yeah, how's that going? I haven't heard,
So, he hasn't officially declared he's running yet, right?
right.
So the other person that is running against him or is going to be rerunning started throwing out stuff against him saying that he should be arrested because he's taking in contributions or campaign money. But he's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, I haven't even decided to run yet. And so basically he told the other guy in kind words to F-word blank.
to bug off.
To bug off, yeah.
Yeah, with choice words.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's not officially
But
running,
the other guy's trying to get the government to start
see,
investigating.
that goes back to McCain-Feingold and the campaign finance laws. They are designed to keep outsiders out.
Yes.
They're designed to keep little guys from ever getting up there. any one of us can become president. Any one of us can become a senator or a politician.
But do you have the money?
It takes money, and lately, you have to be a lawyer. That's the one thing that's always bothered me. That lawyers seem to have an advantage, but it's all about the law.
Right? Yeah.
You got to know all about the laws.
Like no.
Or you got to be a Democrat, which you can just obfuscate and forget all the laws, and they don't apply to you.
And then you just like arrest him. He's says he's running.
So what the government has done is they've made it impossible for citizens to be part of the government on purpose.
Right.
See, Trump before he ran for president was just a citizen. He was just a very wealthy citizen. Now, if he'd have been a guy who was worth a third of what he is now, he'd have had a much harder...
Or had a $40,000 income.
Yeah, he would have never stood a chance.
Right.
Well, look at Romney. He was making $40 million a year.
Well, I mean...
Romney, I like Romney, but he was such a bad candidate.
He's too much of a robot, man.
Plus, he was too soft. He didn't want to play hardball.
Well, he's for the establishment. You know?
Well, he's part of the establishment, but he's a nice guy, probably, from what I can see. So Trump is a great guy, but he's not afraid to get dirty and throw a punch.
Right.
Like the whole DACA thing.
Anything. Pick something. He's just said this is the way it's going to go. He's rough and tumble. He's brass tacks. That's why they hate him. He doesn't come up. I mean, have you ever watch C-SPAN? If you want to kill yourself, watch C-SPAN.
Trump gives the liberals so much to talk about that they don't know what to talk about.
Again, they make fun of how he hands
a bucket to him.
Relief supplies to somebody, but while they're doing that, he's still working. Like we've always said, on this hand, he's making them laugh and criticize, and on this hand, he's signing stuff and making things happen.
An update about Mueller and his special investigation to the Russian collusion.
This is crazy, yeah.
They're going to probably indict Paul Manafort for tax evasion.
Because they got to get him on something.
Yeah, they have to have something stick just to have the talking head say, "Oh, they got him."
Because they couldn't find anything, so they're like, he was
so
taking his money.
They're going to get him for some kind of tax evasion, then they're going to try to flip him.
Right.
And then if he doesn't got anything, he's just going to take it in the shorts. But
but they're like, well, if he rolls on Trump, then Trump can't pardon him.
Why?
Because if he has anything on Trump and gives it up and incriminates the president, he's still going down for tax evasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, why would he give up anything on Trump if Trump could just be like, oh yeah, he did some money laundering or whatever.
But a long time ago, this is something my father told me, and this was back in the 70s. And
don't incriminate the guy that could pardon you.
No, it's that there's so many rules and laws that if they want to get you,
they'll get you on something.
They say that the average citizen unwittingly commits a felony every day.
Yeah.
Somewhere you're committing a felony. If you whatever it might be, like you can't even take let's say you had $10,000 and you went and put it in the bank. They have to it has to be reported
to the IRS. Yes.
So why?
My
point is, there's so many rules and regulations. They do that so that if you rock the boat, like Paul Manafort apparently did, or you become a person of interest, they always have something to arrest you on.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart.
And it's what they fall back on if they can't get you on what they want.
Martha Stewart did not go to jail, did not go to prison over insider trading. She went to jail because she misrepresented some facts to the FBI.
Yeah.
A procedural crime is what it was.
Right.
So basically said, you lied to the FBI, you're going to jail. We can't get you for this over here, which is what we
can't find it.
Yeah, we can't find you guilty of what we came to investigate you for, but you fibbed to us, so there you go.
Yeah.
You're in jail.
Have fun in jail.
And that fib could have been as mild as can be. It could have been some tiny little thing.
That she left out, forgot, or whatever.
Forgot, an omission. Come on, I mean, people at that level, they don't know their own finances.
No, because they have
business managers, they have accountants. They're just like, here's my income, make me some more money with it, invest it, and let me know. I got to go out here and get on TV and make more money.
Exactly it.
That's how it works in Hollywood. None of them know what their money is.
They just know they're making it.
They just know they're making it, and the guy who gets 10% of it is managing it for them.
Right.
And that's probably what happened. And then they asked her a question because she doesn't know. And when the FBI interviews you, you don't get anybody else there.
No.
So they're going to ask you, so what about this transaction you did back on February 18th to this company? And she's going to say, I have no idea.
Right. and it's really the truth, probably.
And then you're going to have to answer a question. Excuse me. And if she gets it wrong, and they could prove that she knew otherwise, because let's face it, I mean, I've never been in front of the FBI criminally. like security clearance wise, they
I-
make you very nervous.
I've had to talk to them for people.
Yeah, they make you very nervous, and if you forget something or it slips your mind or you misspeak,
Right,
you're done.
you're under pressure. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? The FBI is talking to me. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I had
that's
an interview with
that's
an
pretty
FBI
serious.
agent.
Yeah, they're intense.
Like it was for one of my buddies who was getting a secret
Clearance.
clearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's like, so what did he do in China? Was he there for work? What was he doing?
It's like I don't know, man.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, he's in China.
Where,
that's all
where
they-
else did he go?
That's
out of
what
the
they
country?
got. That's what they're going to get Manafort on. They're going to this deep state.
It's tax evasion is what they're getting him for.
Yeah, they could get anybody on tax evasion.
Yeah, I mean,
You
if
know,
they really wanted
there's-
to, they
I mean,
could even
what is there?
one of us.
8,000 pages to the tax code.
Right.
Nobody can get it right. And I like the fact that Trump said that, remember that speech he gave where it should
Yes.
be down to a couple of pieces of paper
Yes.
Yeah,
for,
that's
for
it.
the average person. It shouldn't be complicated. It
It
shouldn't.
really shouldn't.
But it's
This is how
complicated.
much you make. Put that much in, and that's the rest is yours.
Yeah, and they make it complicated because if they want to throw you in jail, they
They
can.
can, right?
They've done it to many times. That's how they got Al Capone. They couldn't get him for being a gangster. They got him for mismanaging his money.
Yeah, he messed up his money.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy, right?
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah, I know.
He
You know,
got
that's
too
what an
much.
oppressive, tyrannical government will do to you and or us.
Well, and Patrick Henry, man, going back to him, you know, he laid it out so beautifully. You know, it's like, you know, a couple years after the Constitution was in play, you know, he said, well, we went from, you know, wanting liberty and everything else like that to wanting security and comfort. And that's where we're starting to see that now.
Yep.
And so now all our liberties are taken away from us just for security and comfort. So, I mean, that guy, I mean, Patrick Henry, you know, had a lot of insight.
See, if
back
you
then.
think about it, there was a time when you could travel from one end of this country to the other and no one knew about it.
Right.
Now I can't get to the store without driving past a traffic camera.
Exactly right. Or the cameras in the store. I mean, what was it? Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene
Yeah.
Hammond. Remember that movie?
It was a little ahead of its time, but it wasn't.
It wasn't too far off, man.
Too far off.
Eagle Eye with Shia.
Or yeah, Eagle Eye.
No,
you know?
that was a little bit more fantasy, but no, the Enemy of the State. Watch it; it'll really.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you know that stuff exists.
It's out there now. I mean, it's in the WikiLeaks and it's everywhere else.
They're
You
watching
know?
you through your phone. If
Phone.
you take your phone with you, they can track you.
It's GPS already built in.
Actually, if you're not careful, your phone can watch you. Be careful what you do when you're looking at your phone.
Yes, that too. You know.
Hey, more power to them.
Hey, if you want to watch me on my phone, you got a stronger stomach than I do.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do a lot of crazy stuff on their phone.
Well,
you know?
there's just no. I mean, if it's just in your
Hey,
room,
like what happened with that one guy at your work? I won't say where, but
no,
No. Got it.
something happened.
no.
But anyways, you know, I just learned how to actually deactivate. You know, I'll probably make a little video,
You
hopefully,
can
if
give
I
an
got time.
example, right?
No.
But you know, I learned actually
Quiet.
how to take off the tracking settings on your
Oh,
phone.
you mean the location services?
Right. Exactly.
By the way, that I was reading the thing on that. Those are not what you think they are.
well, it's just
When you have your location services on, they're not really being able to track your phone is just tracking where you are.
You're right, but yeah, I mean,
But
you
then
pull up the maps
other
on the
apps, other apps can go
Yeah.
into that.
because
And
you're
then they pull data and they put their data towards their company.
yes. That's what I'm saying. So when you pull up your like Apple Maps or whatever it is on there, you know, it says, oh,
Apple can see it.
it automatically comes up saying, "Oh, you're 28 minutes away from home
Yes.
or whatever." You know, I was like, "Well, that's a bit creepy, man."
But you got to think about it. How many people are in this country? 330 million.
But it goes back to IRS type stuff.
I know,
you
but think about
They
how many
have the-
phones are out there.
They have the data information in Utah.
They
where
got to
it collects
mine it.
everything.
Actually, it's not in Utah.
It is. They have,
They have a huge facility in Utah.
I have learned that if they say it's one place, it's not. My example is
it's
Fort
just
Knox.
the NSA building.
Yeah, it's just a building.
Well, yeah, it's a collection center.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Server
stay there.
storage.
It's servers and it's sent someplace else.
Right. Well,
For
absolutely.
permanent storage. Think about it. Like Fort Knox is my example.
Oh yeah, the gold's no
Do you think the
longer
gold is in Fort Knox? Really?
I think
Steve
um,
Munchin or whatever his
yeah,
name is just
yeah,
went down
yeah.
there. He's like, the gold is safe.
Yeah. But how does he know he's looking at real gold? They don't let you touch it.
no, they
They
don't.
let you look at it through a window.
Bars, you
And
know.
it's bars. How do you know that pile of bars isn't
It's
hollow?
spray painted.
Yeah, it could be spray painted. If I was in charge of the country and I wanted to make sure the gold was safe, it'd be in NORAD with me in the Cheyenne Mountains where everything is nuclear safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you have it? Why would you have all your heads of state, your chiefs of staff, and everybody in the cabinet at NORAD protected, and all the gold in Kentucky.
Fort Knox.
You know?
Yeah.
Because Fort Knox is Fort Knox.
That's almost like
I've been to Fort Knox. I spent a lot of time at Fort Knox. It's really not a fort. It's more like a park. It's just
Is this
a
a
park.
conspiracy, George?
No, it's
You
just
don't
an
think the
observation.
gold's in Fort
No,
Knox?
I don't believe it's in Fort Knox.
No, I don't.
I think it's
I
think
personally
it's-
don't think it's there.
The-
I think it's
Secretary of the
strategically
Treasury
unsound. I don't care.
Just went down there and said it's there.
Yeah, well, he
You called him a liar.
He possibly could be.
He
He
might
just
be,
went last week and
he
checked.
might be mistaken. I don't want to call the man a liar, but it's strategically unsound to have everything in one place and the gold not, because the gold is what would run the economy after any type of post-nuclear. If the EMP from North Korea went off and you happen to be in Cheyenne Mountain, gee, the gold's only 2,000 miles away.
Right.
But
So
you can't call and tell anybody what to do with it because,
It's
There's no phone lines are gone.
yeah.
Well,
You would have to go
although
up-
the military does have EMP hardened stuff, so.
But still, wouldn't it be better to have the gold with you? Because if
Of course, man.
Because if the chiefs of staff and the entire government's at NORAD and they got to barter essentially with other countries, yeah, I'm going to need all that blah blah blah. Oh wait, I got to run to Fort Knox, get you a couple bars of gold. No,
No.
land that plane right here at NORAD, and we'll load you up and we'll send it out like we did to Iran.
Or it could be at Yuma, because Yuma also is a nuclear hardened place.
Could be anywhere.
Literally, my point is it could be
No,
anywhere.
well, I'm
it
just
could be
saying-
many places, but
Well, yeah.
I don't think it's in Fort Knox. I mean, I was in Fort Knox, beautiful place. I'd go back in a heartbeat, but it's not really a fort. It's
But
more like a park.
what about the videos that they show inside where the guy that actually weighs all the gold?
Yeah, I
caretaker.
believe. Yeah, if it's on the internet, it must be true.
I mean, it's in. Like,
I've watched all those
documentaries
documentaries too, and they are fascinating because they don't even count it; they
and
weigh
stuff. He
it.
wears those special gloves and he takes
Oh,
one
yeah.
bar at a
Oh,
time.
I think it's a.
This is your gold.
No,
It is 6.72 pounds.
But my point is,
I think it's almost like a ceremonial type thing. that
yeah,
they do.
I believe it's a museum of a few gold bars.
Not even that. I think they look to be gold. You know, it could be like fool's gold melted on top or something. You know?
I don't know. I just don't believe it's all there.
No,
I don't believe the bulk of it's there. I believe the bulk of it is somewhere else. It has to be. It doesn't make any
Right.
strategic sense to have it there and everything else someplace else.
Right.
Well, anyways.
Yeah. Well, we digress, but it.
But anyways, one more last funny piece. Al Gore, in his new movie, The Inconvenient Truth 2, was outsold by a bunch of scientists who actually made a ebook, basically countering all the points he made. So nobody's buying into the global warming thing no more.
Okay, I just want to mention something to Al Gore that the younger members of the audience may not know. There was
He invented the internet.
He did.
It goes back even further than
That's
that.
right.
He goes back even further.
Man, bear, pig.
Man, bear, pig. It's nothing is funnier on this planet than man, bear, pig. Okay, Al Gore, a long time ago, was a Republican.
He was.
He was a John McCain.
No, he was a Republican.
He was hardcore.
He was a hardcore Republican. And his wife, they were looking for a cause back
That's
then.
right, yeah.
They were looking for a cause. She was fighting lyrics and records. She argued with Frank
That's
Zappa.
right.
Frank Zappa
yes.
was called to Congress. He argued the whole free speech thing and the First Amendment rights. And they fought. They wanted labeling on records to protect the children.
D. Snyder also was there too.
Protect the children.
Whenever someone wants to do something to protect the children,
Well,
they're
that's
lying.
the first
Yes.
thing that came out with DACA. He was like, I'm ending DACA. They're like, what about the children?
It's always about the children.
Yeah, it's
But
just
Al
young
Gore-
adults actually.
Al Gore was a Republican, and he did it. He read a study that back then said that Democrats were more like the Republicans, so he changed sides to improve his chances of being politically reelected or whatever office.
Right.
Now, a little bit more on Al Gore. His father was a senator. His father was the last holdout vote against the Civil Rights Act. His father fought tooth and nail to keep black people separated from
Yes.
white people.
Yeah.
This is something that's lost in this whole news speak, double speak, 1984 history rewrite crap. The left has always been racist. The left is...
They started all those organizations, man.
The Ku Klux Klan was a Democratic militant
Strong arm,
wing.
yeah.
They were there to keep the slaves in line.
Yes.
The Democrats have always been racist. They
Yeah.
still are because they tell everybody,
What
without
kind of
us, you
president-
can't succeed.
What kind of president was Lincoln?
He was a Republican.
Okay.
What was that, a quiz?
Yeah, just checking.
So just check, see if I know.
Come on, man, really?
That was
Yeah,
easy.
just
Why'd you-
jump
What,
right
what
in.
about what about Frederick Douglass then? What side was he on?
Oh please, that's even easier.
Republican.
He was a Republican.
Yeah.
I gotta. Okay, what was
Henry Taft.
Yeah, that one I don't know. I couldn't pick that guy out of a
I
lineup.
don't either.
Well,
I just know his name.
well, we're not exactly scholars here.
Yeah.
Taft. I just know his name. Yeah. He's
I know there's a thing called the Taft Act, which people have talked about. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I don't know. But yes, a little osmosis. You learn these things just by walking past the TV once in a while.
Or researching yourself.
No, that's not what the internet's for.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. But anyways, Al Gore sucks still, and
Yeah, it's just nonsense. He's gonna ride that sustainable green
Peace.
global warming
Carbon
horse
tax.
nonsense.
Right. But people buy it, man. That's the craziest thing. When I'm just talking about, and this hurricane is the cause of global warming, I'm like, man, has there not been hurricanes prior to Harvey?
12 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, well here, again, I go back to history tells you everything you need to know.
I mean, come
Okay.
on, man.
Who here remembers
they're
Mount?
they're so like, "Whoa, I'm so brainwashed, it's just crazy.
Who here remembers Mount Pinatubo?
I don't.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing? Okay, there was a volcano in the Philippines in the early 80s. It exploded, like volcanoes have a tendency to do, and they've been doing since
What happened?
They explode?
It exploded. Like volcanoes have been doing since the dawn of time.
What?
Yeah, volcanic eruption.
Oh.
Like Mount St. Helens?
Yes, exactly
What?
like Mount St. Helens.
Get
Now, they studied Mount Pinatubo, and they discovered that it had expelled more,
CO2.
what is it? Greenhouse gases. It expelled 1,000 times more greenhouse gases in a single
Well,
eruption than man has produced in his entire existence.
Right.
And yet, these volcanoes have been going on for, I don't know, years?
Since
Years.
the dawn of
Years.
time?
Just let's just say years, lots of years, a really long time. But yet, the planet has been surviving these things that spew more dangerous gases than man
Because
has
it leaks
done.
out into space.
No, because the Earth has a mechanism to fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Because if
Oh, the
volcanoes were that dangerous, we should have never been able. We should all be dead.
well,
That's
we
why the
need those
dinosaurs died.
we need those greenhouse gases. That's the thing. The Earth actually needs it, and the scientists are really concerned because there hasn't been that many greenhouse gases in recent years, and
Okay,
so
first
they're actually more concerned that there isn't enough
it'll open up a hole in
carbon
the ozone.
dioxide, not monoxide. That the carbon
Monoxide is
produces.
what comes out of a car.
Yeah, but dioxide
That's
is
going to
an
open up a
actual.
hole in the ozone.
You mean that stuff that comes out of that plants breathe in and breathe out
Yes,
oxygen,
yes,
and we
yes.
breathe in oxygen and breathe out that. Yeah,
That-
see, funny how that works. See,
Yeah.
nature always has a way. It's all about
Yeah.
balance.
So they're actually worried that there isn't enough carbon dioxide coming out of the
keep the
earth
plants
to
alive.
keep the plants alive, which then in turns will keep us alive.
Killing the plants.
Well, no, they're killing every.
But what, another
every-
thing, and this
yeah,
goes back
species.
to another thing, as some of the older audience might remember. Remember acid rain?
Oh yeah, I remember that as a
Acid
kid.
rain was gonna. We were all gonna melt like
You go outside and just
we're like something
Pelching.
from, like something from the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Woo! You're just gonna melt. You know what? Never happened.
never happened.
No,
Oh.
No.
So it was a conspiracy.
no, it was BS.
Yeah. There's conspiracies like true, and see, and this perfect example. They like to confuse you with saying, "Oh, everything's a conspiracy,
Just
so you
like the
can't believe
chemtrails.
nothing." Right, but those are actually real.
What's that?
Chemtrails.
Those are so false. I'm sorry, we have to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
It's just water vapor in the upper atmosphere freezing. I'm sorry. It's called clouds. It's called clouds.
No,
sorry.
they actually do experiment with it's still an experimental test.
Is it they doing it to make us sterile or like sheep? I'm not sure which. What's their plan?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, it's a lot of things. They put boron and a whole
Silver
bunch of
iodine.
silver iodine in the clouds and everything. You know,
Cloud
Cloud
seeders.
seeders.
Does it make it rain?
Well, it changes
That's what
the
silver
weather.
iodine does. Is help make
Yeah,
it rain.
it helps makes it rain, but then it comes down on your body and your
Yeah,
skin and
like
messes
rain.
with you. No, well,
it falls down on you like rain.
it does, but the silver iodine is not really that healthy for you at all. Same with the boron and borax and everything else they put up there.
Borax, who knows? What is the end game?
Well, they also have that
Temperature
facility up.
manipulation.
Yeah.
Temperature manipulation?
Or the ARC facility.
I still like the theory that it's to make us sterile.
Or it could be that too. I mean,
I just made that up, and you nodded like I wasn't.
Well, you know, you never know. You could be that too. But you know, I mean, they do have the what is it?
The Ark.
Yeah, the Ark, and then the facility up in Alaska.
Covenant or the boat?
No, it's a atmospheric temperature controller thing.
Yeah. No, but but anyways, the story.
I'm just having fun, ladies and gentlemen. Just having fun.
Conspiracy theory dive.
we just
they
went
also
out
have
of
the
the deep
facility
end
up
of conspiracy.
No, but they also have the facility up in Alaska, which actually sends negative ions into the atmosphere to trigger all the silver iodine and everything else like that.
That in turn turns on the light in the sun because it's actually just like a hexagonal light that they put.
Is it LED?
This guy.
Just as long as if we have to go to tinfoil hats, just somebody make them fashionable.
Like diva
Fedoras. I want mine to look like a fedora.
No, but
they can say half tan.
But anyways, our original videos, if you look them up on YouTube,
they're not nearly as serious as this one.
Right. So I mean, we do cover that, the whole weather conspiracy and everything else like that. You can check that out on stanshow.com, which we really haven't pitched all day. You can also check out the shirts, purchase a couple.
Purchase them all.
Or that too. that would be awesome.
One time we'll do a whole conspiracy episode.
Yeah. Oh, we got that, or we're just going to do it as Russians. We're not sure which, but that thing is past. That whole collusion.
Yeah.
Thing.
No, it's still there.
I thought it was all gone.
No, it's still there.
It's
fading. It's fading quick.
I bet if I go to.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you can find it because there's always going to be some nut wacko out there who's still
right
talking about
to try to cover it. But anyways, yeah, the Russian thing's pretty much gone. You know, they can't find nothing.
Well, so, it was a catalyst to get them to start investigating and see if they can find something.
Well,
i.e. Manafort.
Right, Manafort and his tax evasion.
But Putin caused that.
Oh wow, he also causes global warming.
It's because that was Trump working with the Russians.
Yeah, so I mean, just check out the site.
Are so fast, they're black.
Wow, the hurricane's nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I don't live.
Black colored.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
It goes.
I gotta say,
it's
for
like
anybody
blue,
out there
green, yellow, orange, red, black.
We don't even have a color for that speed. If you live anywhere besides Nevada, which has never had a natural disaster ever,
don't jinx it, man.
No, we just don't. We no seismic, no flooding, we can't forest fire.
Our seismic last year was something like.
Oh no.
It was a 3.0, 5.0.
When I lived in LA, I had the earthquake app, so I could see where the earthquakes were. I'd always scroll over to Vegas. There'd be like a 1.1.
Yeah.
You know what a 1.1 is? That lady that wrote that article, it was big and fat, fell over.
No. I'll tell you what happened when it happened. Here in Nevada last year, I was reading, and all of a sudden the words became blurry, and I'm like, oh, then I could read again.
That was it?
That was it. I was like, what happened?
So in other words, if you weren't really paying attention, you missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because in other words, there was, all over the valley, there were ripples in water glasses.
Yeah,
right.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
So no, Nevada, I'm glad I don't live in South Florida. I've been there. It's lovely. I would live there, but not during this time of year. I'd board everything up and move back here. California, if it's not flooding or mudslides, it's on fire.
Yeah.
Or there's a riot. This is a good place to live. I mean, yes, we pay for it with 120-degree temperature, but
it's only for a couple months.
It's not a bad trade-off.
Yeah, it really isn't.
I've never come home and my house
bugs.
has been incinerated.
No, nothing.
No, we don't get locusts, none of that stuff. We don't.
Well, you get the occasional grasshoppers during some of the summer months.
That just makes the girls freak out and
August,
jump up and down. That's fun. No, this is the place to live. I'm sorry, it's natural disaster-wise.
Right.
Fashion-wise, we're way behind the curve.
Oh no! If you go down to Vegas Strip, you can buy all the top-end fashion.
Yeah, but then they leave. It's the people who live here that only buy clothes at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I see one more, and this is just my personal pet peeve, if I see one more person wearing socks and shower shoes, I'm going to scream.
That's all they wear.
You don't like that?
I don't know what that is. It's like you had enough gumption to put socks on, but not enough to put on a pair of shoes with laces.
That's them in the spas. Like they just walk around.
No, that's
with
not
their
spa.
socks
I see these guys down the street.
Locals, man.
Locals are not spawing. I know what spa wear looks like. These are and then the shorts and the wife beater.
What's wrong with that?
It's
I like to wear socks
slovenly.
and sandals.
Socks and sandals, that's
an oxymoron.
It is. It's a fashion oxymoron.
I don't like the sandals touching in between my toes.
Then wear shoes.
Not my sandals though. Does it?
See, I don't know. It's just something about
so like I'll put my socks on and then I'll have the sandals that have straps on them.
What? That's so dorky, man.
Are they black socks? Tell me they're black socks, because that completes the picture. Bermuda shorts?
No, the knee-high white.
Knee-high white with stripes?
Yeah, with the stripes.
My soccer socks. Yeah.
Soccer socks, yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. That to me.
Do my shorts that go to like.
That is when I see somebody with shower shoes and socks on, and I'm not talking like flip flops where it goes between your toes. I'm talking with the big band across the top. When I see that, to me, it is the same irritation as if I had gum on the bottom of my shoe. It's just, get it off, get it off. I hate it. It's just something about it is wrong. It's just wrong.
And next week we're going to be talking more about George's pet peeves. No.
And there's a long list. They go on, and the older you get, the more you acquire.
Right. So
this guy.
I know.
Look who's talking.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Sunday day.
But
stop it!
But anyway,
that's an inside joke. I'm gonna be smacking them around later. With the
check out the site, folks. StanShow.com. Purchase the shirts. If you don't want to purchase the shirts, just like, share, and support us.
Punch.
share this broadcast. Also share the rest
tell
of the
everybody.
Videos. Right. That's what we're going to grow. Thank you to all our supporters out there. We love the comments. We love the likes and everything. It just goes to show that we are, actually reaching you guys. So continue that, and we appreciate it really. Because other than that, we're going to be talking to ourselves, but at least we know that we're actually talking to everybody out there. So.
And we do talk to ourselves, even when there's no one else here.
Yeah, that's true too. But anyways, that's a different story. Again, have a good night. This is Shane, Lance, and George for The Stand, taking a stand for liberty. God bless you and God bless America.
Good night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Right, exactly.
Whatever that might be.
Could be anything.